Hello and welcome to the Crookedrivercast. I am Rob, and joining me every week is Tom, and we are two guys from Northeast Ohio just trying to stay informed about the news in our state. This is show 33, recorded on November 1st, 2025. Another week has gone by. Man, we got some stuff to discuss, so let's go. Are you scared, Tom? Were you scared yesterday? Was it spooky for you? Halloween?
That was yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday. You know what? Funny enough, I kind of felt the same way. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Halloween. Huh.
You know what? We don't get kids around here, so.
Neither do I. Actually.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Almost none. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's up the hill, and there's not a whole lot.
Got a little challenge.
Dead end streets and all that kind of stuff. And so kids, I mean, we did it first year we moved in here, and we would get, every year we get two kids, maybe three max. And most of the day, or most of the evening, I would just sit in front of the door or sit in front of the TV and eat the candy. It was in the bowl. So I stopped doing that because, well, yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
Diabetes and stuff.
Yeah. Insulin resistance. Yeah, no, we don't have a sidewalk, and our houses are far from the street, and they're far apart, so.
Yeah. Yeah,
no kids.
My kids actually go to other close by neighborhoods to go trick-or-treating because it's less hilly and
less silly.
And there's just more kids. There's more houses that are, there's more houses that are giving out candy than over here. So that's where they go.
No, that's what we used to do when we were young too.
It makes sense.
The street that I grew up on, the houses were farther apart. Not everybody gave candy. And we would just, walk from my house down to the main road and then cross the street into a neighborhood that was much easier to fill your bags up with.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Yep. But it's different nowadays. I've noticed this over the years. Halloween for me as a kid was time to stock up. I wasn't getting... My parents didn't buy me candy very often. So it was time to go hard and get as much as you can for as long as you can. Even at 8:15 and 8:30, if the light was on, we're going.
Yeah, we did it too.
But nowadays, there are so many treats. They're so prevalent everywhere you look. Even as much as we try to eliminate them from the house, they're at school, they're at it's everywhere. It's just
how so?
It's just candy is. Maybe I don't know what the difference is. It just seems like candy is way more part of their diet than it was for me or even any of my friends. Like it was very much a treat. Like you get a little candy bar every now and again, but you open the pantry of most. In my house, maybe a little bit different because I'm pretty active. We're pretty active in limiting the treats. You get one little thing from the grocery store. Limiting it, but they're also pretty good at limiting it themselves, to be honest with you. But even besides that, I would imagine when you go into most people's houses that aren't on top of it, I guess, or that worried about it, there's loads of candy.
Really? Yeah, the only time I really got candy, I think, was going to my grandparents' house.
Well, and I was just going to say, that's still true. Yeah. That's still very true. I was going to say, but that's okay. That's one place I used to get it too. But I would get a piece of butterscotch, like maybe a cookie, not the whole cake. But what do you get? I mean, that's one part I don't really care that much about. That's a minor, but I think just at school, at their friends' houses, it's just tons of junk food. Well, that's funny how we're going to tie that would segue us right into our next topic, our first topic. But I wanted to finish on the Halloween thing because I got some. I hope you're going to be okay with this because I got some scary stuff. Since you weren't scared that much yesterday, so I just want to warn our listeners that this is if you got small kids in the room, you might want to think about having them leave this one. This one's very, very scary. It's very scary. Here you go. Here's my Halloween clip. Ready?
Yep.
Happy Halloween, Ohio. Be safe. Get lots of candy. I just put our decorations out. My husband came home. He was really tickled. And one of our traditions in our family is actually we had one of those really giant inflatable, like very early on.
Inflatable what? Inflatable what, Amy? Okay, let's see.
Before inflatables were a big thing, we had a massive pumpkin, like a Charlie Brown style pumpkin in our yard. And one of my favorite traditions is actually to do Polaroids.
Of what, Amy? Come on. No, I'm not going to leave it there. I'll let her finish.
Please don't.
Of little kids with the giant
inflatable
pumpkin and give them the photo right there. So we always did Polaroids when my kids were growing up.
Oh my gosh. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm just going to have visions of Amy acting pumpkins and Polaroids.
I guess that is scary.
Pretty scary to me. I mean, I was frightened. I couldn't sleep the other night when I saw that.
Amy Acton.
Yeah, she has a tradition of Polaroids and pumpkins. We'll just leave it at that. Polaroids and pumpkins. But the real scary thing is,
Does she put a pumpkin on her head?
Only uncarved pumpkins on her head.
Okay.
Only uncarved pumpkins. Sorry, visuals were pretty funny on that. So, moving on. All right, focus, because we got some serious stuff going on, Tom. We got a Snapocalypse. I practiced it so much and I still couldn't do it. Snapocalypse.
That's good.
Snapocalypse. That's what we got, Tom. A Snapocalypse going on.
Snapocalypse. I can't even do it. I never tried it though. Snapocalypse.
Yeah, just Snapocalypse. Apocalypse, Snapocalypse. There you go. I could do it that way.
Snapocalypse.
We got a Snapocalypse.
Yeah, that's it.
I was trying to be cute, but not very. So we got some. I mean, there's nothing new that I missed this morning, right? Like there wasn't like some bill, or I know there's some updates as of late yesterday on this.
There was. I was looking. I didn't find anything.
The only update I had was there's a judge that has now. I didn't pull the story because it was late last night, but it was something they blocked, or they're forcing President Trump to spend some of the emergency funds or something.
Oh, some judge.
So I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
How does a judge, because they were being sued. So somebody sued, that's the update. Somebody sued the Trump administration, and then the judge ruled that they have to dip into some fund somewhere to at least temporarily fund SNAP benefits or EBT or SNAP benefits. And I'm not sure how they're going to force him to actually pay it out. And there's going to be an appeal, and then, it's going to go on and it's really only a temporary fix for a couple of weeks. I
think it was till November 14th, right?
Yes, so far that's what I've quickly read was, I think 2 weeks, November 14th. But on a state level, where there might be other things going on, that's what we've seen. State of Ohio might be doing, a lot of the counties are doing some stuff. But really what's going on here is people are flipping out, because as of today, checks are not going out for food stamps, which is what SNAP is. It's food stamps, just a rebranded food stamp. And people are flipping out. Here's some example. I just want to give a couple examples of some people kind of getting upset, but they're not too worried. Here's the first one.
Trump cutting off food stamps right before Thanksgiving, bad and all, but my people ran out of stores. With the cart full, I bet it's going to be some turkey on my plate. Ham, mashed potatoes, greens, dressing. It's going to all be there. Don't worry about it.
Here's so that's the common theme.
She sounded fat.
Oh, she was enormous.
Yeah. Okay.
Enormous. Laying down in bed. Here's the theme I've seen. Usually obese women, black and white, and I guess I've seen some Muslim ones in there, but they weren't overweight, which is kind of interesting. But usually laying down in bed. Complaining about, and, piercings generally all over the face. And they're all complaining about not getting SNAP. And they're all threatening. Now, this one, here's one that wasn't from the bed. But I'm just trying to figure out who she's trying to convince this. So here's what I have, EBT, 7 kids.
Okay, you guys, yes. I am a mother of 7 kids. 7 kids. I had my first child at 14 years old. Yes, I had my first child at 14 years old. I do not regret it. He is well, healthy, and he's 19 right now. God, praise God. Yes, you guys, I have 7 kids, 7 different baby daddies. Yeah, 7 different baby daddies. You heard it right here. 7 different baby daddies.
Kind of.
7 kids. Had my first child at age 14. Yes.
How much did she get?
I do receive $3,000 in EBT food stamps. Yes. We are so happy. We are so blessed. We are very thankful.
Who are you trying to convince?
We are happy where we're at in life right now. We are happy. Yes, we are happy. Yes.
Does that 19-year-old still get?
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet she still counts them. And so I don't know if you can or how you can, but
you'd think she'd be loaded, man. 7 daddies. That's not much assistance there from needed from one dad. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and honestly,
7 different dads should be paying into that.
$3,000 a month. It is an awful lot of money. But for 7 kids, I don't even know if that's enough to feed 7 kids for a month nowadays. Especially,
that's enough.
Yeah, it could be enough. But
$100 each kid a week. That's 4 weeks. That's $2,800. That's enough to feed them.
And here's a good example of the responsible freeloader.
It is enough if it's my tax dollar. Damn it.
Yes, but here to your point. Here's was going to be my next clip, but it was going to be one of my clips, and I have a responsible freeloader. So, and she, to your point, she's saying, yeah, you can easily do it.
I don't care if I get canceled, but as an EBT mother on a budget of $300 to $400, even when I only had $200, you know what's cheaper than a $3 pack of Little Debbie snacks? A 50-cent can of fucking green beans, okay? You know what's cheaper than 3 packs of soda? A bunch of cans of 50-cent cans of vegetables, okay? You know what's cheaper than the $150 you spent on chips, sugar, soda, all of that shit? Buying a bunch of meat. Because the amount of snacks that you bought are enough to last you 2 weeks, and the amount of meat that I bought is enough to last me the entire month of November while I wait for food benefits to fix themselves.
I mean, get a job, but bravo.
Yeah,
or a better job, but... No, she wasn't in bed. She was in the kitchen, but yes, still had the red hair and piercings. I'm not trying to, but it was just, it's a common theme I'm noticing. So maybe a reason you can't get a job is
the number one item bought with SNAP is soda. Yeah.
We just talked about this a couple weeks ago, 2 ago. They're talking, we had to ask permission to the federal government if we can limit or eliminate sodas and sugary drinks from our
I thought
SNAP.
That was happening.
It's happening, but we have to pass the law, and then we have to ask the FDA if it's okay, because it's a federal program. That was kind of, to me, my point. I was like, we can't just do this. We have to ask if we can do this. I mean, sure, they said in the article that most of the time they say yes because they agree, but it's still like, to me, you have to, for something as common sense as that.
Everything's so broken.
So what a lot of people are getting worried about is the threats. Worried is.
Really laying in bed with?
Well,
okay.
Well, yeah, but here's this guy. He's not laying in bed. He's at his front porch, and this is what I call the Snapocalypse. Let's just go with that. Snapocalypse by the numbers. Let's try to figure this one out here.
As y'all know, they done cut off the food stamps and the EBT. So that's 100% finna affect everybody that's still in the hood, or at least on Section 8. You feel me? We've been on it our whole entire life. You feel what I'm saying? Without it, you feel me? More people definitely would have been getting robbed. I ain't even gonna lie. With that being said, I know that the crime rate about to increase by like 5,000%. Let's not add the fact that they trying to tax 74% on anybody making under 30K. So that's going to automatically boost the crime rate up like another 10,000%. You feel me? It's about to get bad in America, bro. Real bad. So even for the people that's over that mark, it's going to get bad for them too. You know what I'm saying? But America about to turn into a third world playing around. Like all these people saying they got all this technology, all these millions and billions of dollars, they're going to be getting robbed. Like people think they just going to just be comfortable while 70-80% of America just suffering. And that people that is doing good, starting to do bad, they're going to start picking up crime. They're going to start looking at down. These motherfuckers, they got these Lambos. And I'm about to lose my house. And we don't got no food. And we don't got no this. And we don't got no that.
He ain't got no house. It's about to be getting bad. Y'all going to start seeing people run up on people in restaurants, robbing cars. It's about to be a lot more broad daylight shit going on.
I got technology. Yeah, I got technology. Protect me from that. I'll have to bring my technology with me to protect me from that.
Oh, don't worry about him.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
He ain't doing nothing.
He ain't doing nothing but sitting on his porch complaining. But here's a little logic. Let's put a little logic into the mix here. Here we go. Here's this. Well, see, he can't be racist because he's Asian, right? So here's a guy who kind of thought about this for a second, and
It's funny. People are talking about robbing grocery stores because they're not getting their SNAP benefits. But if you're physically able to go rob a store, that means you're physically able to go get a job.
Yeah.
That's a Asian guy?
Yeah.
Chang or Chang?
I don't remember.
Oh, sorry.
It couldn't. They all look the same. Damn.
Wow.
Yeah. So this guy, now here's the solution to this dude here that's talking about, 10,000% increase. And what did he say? They're going to tax people at a rate of 75% if you make under $30,000. Like, what are you even talking? Where's that come from? Like, I can't even figure out where.
He was saying 80% of the people were going to start hurting.
Yeah, but then he said they're even trying to tax people making under 30 grand 75%.
Yeah. No, his numbers were.
Yeah,
totally,
I get sometimes you can take things out of context or not understand, but I don't even know how you get to. They're going to tax the poor people 75%. But a solution,
taxing 74% of nothing is kind of.
You get a little bit, but not much. I think there's always a good solution to this, and that would be that'd be grandma. Grandma got some advice and some recipes.
Let me tell y'all something. Those that's talking about going out there making them videos, talking about y'all gonna rob them people's stores because they done cut them SNAP benefits. Let me tell you something. You go out there, you gonna give them folks every legal right to bop you across your head. Baby, they're going to be justified in bopping you across your head. You better learn how to cook some quick, cheap, easy meals. You could take some tuna, some cream of mushroom, a peas, and throw some noodles in it. You want to get fancy, crumble some crackers on the top. You got tuna casserole. You can take you some beans. I don't care if it's black bean, pinto beans. If you don't know how to make them homemade, you can buy them in a can from the Dollar Tree with some rice, baby, and you got beans and rice. Get you some cornmeal, honey, a little bit of oil, make some hot skillet cornbread.
That sounds good.
And you can take some peanut butter with some jelly and make a sandwich, grilled cheese with some bread, honey, and get your tomato soup. You got a meal and sit down somewhere. Don't go out in them streets because they're going to bop y'all in the head.
I love grandma. They're going to bop you in the head. What, are you crazy? You can give them an excuse. But, I mean, all of this, and I'm not sure why we even care. Why are we so worried about all this? I understand. Here's a equation.
What you talking about? We?
Yeah. Why are we so worried about it?
I'm not worried about it.
Well, here's some math here's some reasons why we shouldn't really care.
I have a question though. Why do you care so much about people getting food benefits? You do know they put it back into the economy, right? It's basically like free
what?
money.
Like
it's
free
like
money?
imaginary money because the money was never printed in the first place.
Oh,
so they're taking like digital air money and putting it on a card.
Digital air money.
And that upsets you.
Well,
digital air money upsets
what
you.
Everything is
hypothetical dollars upset you because it just goes right back into the economy, like I said. So what you should be mad about is the money that's being spent on, like, not your community, not the people who need it. What about how your money goes to politicians who literally don't work for you? They don't do anything for you. They take away.
No, they work for you.
Rights. They take away things from you.
They're working for you. What are you talking about? You're right. They're not working for me. They're working for you. Because people like you vote, and man, there is so much good stuff out there, and the people pointing out just the cost of nails in some of these videos of some of these women, and they're complaining about not getting EBT, and a lot of people are out there going, well, yeah, they're so pissed because they're selling this stuff and they're not going to be able to sell it anymore, these EBT cards.
Yeah, a lot of them.
I watched a video. Let's pull back to Ohio. I watched a video. I didn't pull the clip because the music, the background music. I mean, that dude had some background music, but it wasn't that bad that I played. But this person, so this is supposedly a reporter interviewing somebody in Springfield, Ohio. What do we know about Springfield, Ohio, Tom?
I don't know. There's some pets missing, I think.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
Exactly. I was scrambling to get to it as well.
I know. I was looking for it.
You got there first. I totally had that planned, and I totally missed it. So they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. But they're also doing it with tens of thousands of dollars in EBT cash. So this person's saying that she works at the grocery store, and when these people come in, they're dropping multiple carts full of food, dressed way better than anybody who works at this store, and they're Haitian illegal immigrants. And when they look at their receipt, because when you in a lot of places or all places, when you use your EBT card for SNAP, you get a report on the ticket of how much you have left in your account.
Right.
And there's pictures of this online, and this woman is saying, in one case, the woman had $13,000 of EBT money.
What?
And $29,000 of EBT cash. There's EBT for food stamps, which is SNAP, and they also give you EBT cash, which is like welfare, which is more like pay your bills and get your hair done and nails done, and extensions and piercings and red hair and purple hair. Yes, and there's multiple pictures of this online of people taking pictures. There's one case, I think it was a Walmart. The guy's got video, and I don't know when this was, I don't know if it's recent or not, but 4 carts of food that was ordered online, and then they canceled it. So they had $1,000 of food in these carts that they pulled, and they're ringing out. I guess it says they canceled it. I'm not sure what that, but when you see the receipts, $1,000 of food, and underneath it, they still had like 10 grand worth of EBT cash or EBT funds.
I don't know if it's related. You know what drives my my parents mad with SNAP or EBT? When they go shopping, now they're pretty frugal about a lot of things.
Oh yeah, as that generation would be.
Yeah. When they're shopping, I guess, because when my parents are shopping, they're going through like let's say the meat section. They're looking at the price, how much it is a pound, how much it is for this item, and they're really paying attention to the prices. But when they see people with SNAP benefits, they're not even looking at the price. They're just throwing stuff in the cart. And I'm wondering if that has, if that's happening more than I ever even thought. What you just talked about,
Yeah.
People. Because how can you shop like that? I mean, are you just have no clue on how to manage money? Obviously, that's part of the problem, but.
So if you, By the way, this to me is a common theme when it comes to these types of things. And I can go even away from EBT or SNAP. And I saw this when I was growing up. If you were given a car, you usually trashed it. But if you had to buy the car or work to buy the car, you really kept it usually better than if you were given the car. So what I saw was, not obviously this is broad brush. This is not on everybody, but in general, I always saw if you were allotted a car, if you were given a car by your parents, you usually trashed it. If your parents were forcing you to pay some of it or all of it, whatever, you took better care of it because it's your money. This goes out to a lot. It's Section 8 housing. Why? What do I care about the house? It's not mine. I don't pay for it. I don't work to pay for it. And this is why would I care about how much it costs? It doesn't matter. As long as I know how much I have, and as long as I know I can fill up 3 carts of food, and it's never over what I have in the account, then what do I care?
Right.
It makes you irresponsible because it's not your money, and I mean this is part of the issue when you're not.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at, wouldn't you want to get more for the amount you have? You know what I'm saying?
I see that. And that's a good point. I just think when you have more than you ever need.
Yeah.
Why would you? I mean, yes, at some point maybe, but I think my point is necessity is really what brings that to the forefront for most people. Because if you had more money, if budget was no option, when you go to the grocery store, would you look at the price? Not necessarily. I mean, maybe you would if you came from nothing and worked. But if you have always been given, if you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, when you go to the store, when you go to the restaurant, do you worry about the prices on the menu? No, really high-end restaurants don't even have prices on the menu.
Yeah, well,
they used to.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, it's not the same.
But I mean, like this is, I guess if I have a limited amount to spend, I want to get the most I can for my money.
Yeah.
I'm not in a situation where my wife does it, but if I go shopping, I'm kind of just, whatever looks good to me, I'm getting. We're not in a position to really worry about that stuff. But there was a time where I needed to go shopping, and I'm like, well, I have this much. How do I fill up my shopping cart as best as I can for that much? Regardless, I've never been on any type of benefits, but if I worked that week and I had other bills that I had to take care of, maybe I only had $75 for groceries or whatever. I don't know.
And because you're on a limited budget, but I think a lot of these people, they don't. There's many that probably don't know or know how to do that, or I don't know. I guess not knowing is a cop out, but they don't care. I guess they don't. I just don't care. And I think a lot of that maybe have to do with that they have more than they can spend in a lot of cases. Maybe not every case. But
that's what I'm wondering about. Like what you were talking about, people having all this stuff on all this credit on their EBT card, and do they have more than they can really spend? That blows my mind. I never even considered that.
If you drop $1,000 on groceries and you still have thousands of dollars,
right,
you don't have to worry about how much it.
I wish I had that EBT card. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, I'm as a kid, we were on food stamps for a short time, and first of all, the one thing that sticks in my head is how embarrassed my parents were.
Oh yeah,
they were horrified and mortified that they had to go to because at the time you actually had the booklet and you had to rip them out of the book. It was like traveler's checks almost.
Yeah, that is something we're missing in society at this point.
Shame.
Yeah.
Bring back shaming, because public shaming, because you should be embarrassed to use that stuff. Now they advertise it on the radio. Because why would they advertise it on the radio? Because they have so much money in the system, they can't give it away fast enough. They're overfunded. That's the only reason they're spending money on advertising.
It's kind of a fun, like I wouldn't want to shame anybody that needs it, but if they're living off of it as a lifestyle, I think they should be shamed.
And at this point, we're on generation after generation who's lived on this system, because it's taught. It's taught. You're teaching your children how to be slaves to the system. Because as you see now, your life is not in your hands because you're so reliant on the government. And this is the one thing that nobody's talking about. We haven't got into the 1.4 million Ohioans are on EBT or on SNAP, I should say.
What, say that again?
1.4 million Ohioans.
Across the country, there's 42 million.
Yep.
That is 1 in 8, basically yes. 1 in 8.
So nobody's asking the question, in my opinion, on why are there all these people on benefits and how do we get them off of them? You're worried about how do we get them more benefits. How do we get them off these benefits? It's not supposed to be a lifestyle. All right, so we'll go to. We've got right now. I think the state of Ohio is providing $25 million in food assistance as a emergency funds for any loss of SNAP benefits for right now. That's what they're saying. $7 million to go across to food banks around the state, and $18 million in emergency relief benefits for more than 63,000 residents. So the other story is Ohio, which has 1.4 million residents receiving benefits, are watching. This Kyle. So wait a minute, I'm getting confused now. State of Ohio is giving 25 million. Why is it only for 63,000 recipients? Okay. So this question is but nobody's asking, how can we stop this? I'm thinking of I'm talking.
I know how.
Yeah.
Government shutdown.
Government shutdown will do it. It brings up something that I was talking about with a friend a couple weeks ago. Or no, it was less than a couple weeks ago because this was looming. This was why their topic came up, and we were talking about a friend of a friend. So a friend of my friend, and we'll call him Bob. So Bob has family who, or a human resource, we'll call him, who is a kid who is married, who was divorced, but while they're married, they adopted a couple of kids, 2 or 3, I think. I think they were like I think for lack of a better term, they were like troubled babies from crackheads and stuff, that kind of thing. They were so small babies. So they're the whole point of this is they're
okay. Bob has what kids?
He has one kid.
One kid
who has got divorced, who got married and adopted a couple of kids.
Kid already got divorced.
Yeah.
Oh, so, I see. Okay, I'm getting a little.
So thank you, because if you're confused, I'm sure everybody else is confused. So I have a friend of a friend named Bob. He has a kid who got married, adopted 2, maybe 3 kids. These are kids that are troubled. So I guess more power to them for doing that. They're now divorced, so they have split custody. So Bob's kid is a college-educated person, and her ex is
his ex.
Their ex is not, and on a bunch of benefits. Okay, so there's this stress that he has because his grandkids are on government funding, government welfare. They're on SNAP, and they're not going to get it. And he's very upset at Donald Trump. Yes, and
but they're doing. It sounds like they're doing okay.
Well, no. What? So they're split. They're split up. They split custody, and the ex doesn't have a job.
But Bob does.
Thank you. My point. Thank you. So he's very upset because he's now going to have to pitch in.
Right.
So I'm talking to my friend, and he's like, well, you can see why Bob would be upset. I go, I get that. I said, but isn't that his responsibility? Like, isn't that, like, how does that fall onto us? Like, it's your kids, it's your grandkids. Why does it? No, that is your responsibility. And the fact that we have these programs is why you don't think it is your responsibility.
There's something else has happened too. And, I think it's more here in the U.S. The grandparents have really kind of disconnected themselves. I think it's the boomer generation. They really disconnected themselves from their kids after the kids moved out. where they feel like they don't have a responsibility anymore. I don't think that's really happened in other countries.
No, I don't think it does.
And I don't. That's not a good thing.
No, because that is the whole. I mean, one of the biggest advantages to a nuclear family and all that stuff is you have a fallback, because it's not the community's responsibility when you get in hard times to just jump on assistance. No, it's to ask your family. And that's some of these people online, they're complaining because they're so cold-hearted. How can you be so heartless with all these children? It's children, Tom.
For the children.
And my question is always, how much did you give? How many of you fed? I'm sure there's plenty of these people out there that would gladly take a few nights on your couch, just until they get on their feet. That's the problem. Where's the families? Where's the extended family? Where's the church? Where's the community, the local community? They're all gone for the most part, I think. And I think one of the biggest reasons is the bigger the government gets, the less charitable we get as people. Because why? There's a program for that.
Yeah.
We don't need kids. It's okay.
You never found out why they got divorced, did you? That's another thing.
No, I did not. I don't know him that well to even get into that. So
yeah.
Again, I was just hearing it because him and I get into it, Bob, that is, about politics every once in a while. And, he's just an anti-Trump person, which is fine. We can have conversations, but
yeah, that's all right.
That's where he revolves around. And my point is always pointing out, it's like it's, anyway, but what,
well, I was actually going to mention, like, I'm kind of curious about the divorce, and only from, so they adopted 2 or 3 kids, as far as you know.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Okay, and then they get a divorce. Now, did they get a no-fault divorce? And I think that's a huge problem in this country.
I think that's Ohio. I don't think there is. I think that's the way Ohio does divorce.
Well, our country does it.
Yeah. I think it's state, but most states are no fault now.
Yeah. California
it doesn't matter
started
if you cheat on your spouse, you still have a complete, you still have equal chance of getting custody of the kids.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about back in the day, they used to. Yeah. Okay. But back in the day, you weren't allowed to get divorced unless somebody did something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And I think too many of these couples are just getting divorced just because, I don't know, some douchebag wants something extra, or some, slut did something she wasn't supposed to. And I think there's just too many couples breaking. Too many couples now getting into divorce. And I'm just like, I don't care if somebody gets divorced if they don't have any kids. At that point, it doesn't really matter. But when you have like 2 or 3 kids that you adopted for Christ's sake, how do you get a divorce? I don't know. That's messed up.
It's a lot, but you're right, because it's a lot of reasons why people need to be on SNAP and food stamps. It's because they make bad choices in their lives, and that's kind of where I'm getting at. How do we teach people not to make these bad choices?
Well, don't let them get divorced.
It's cultural, but it's
that's
not
one thing.
Yeah,
that's one way.
Most of these that are a generational have been taught this is how you do. This is what you do. I've seen mom and dad do it. That's what everybody's like. Oh, the children. I go, no, the parents. The parents are doing this to their kids. What are you talking about? And before I get into the next one, let me just ask this question. What did we do before food stamps? And how many people starved before food stamps? Virtually none, as far as I can tell. It didn't really happen. Not in America before food stamps. You know why? Because the community took care of its own.
You had the community, you had churches, which is basically the community also. You had charities.
Your neighbor was your biggest fears. Family, friends, neighbor, church, community. And you never needed to get any further than that, because that's 3 or 4 backups.
Mm-hmm.
But I truly believe that we're getting so far away from that because nobody thinks they need to. Because you see, when big stuff happens, the American people are very charitable. But the government will kill that. And it feels like to me like they have. And I think that's our everybody,
well,
they're going to starve.
Why do you want to give to a charity if the government's taking care of it,
When the government's feeding the charity anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah.
In a lot of cases. So it seems as though the state of Ohio is going to pony up some money out of the rainy day fund or wherever they're going to try to pull out of, and at least get some temporary help for, again, we're going to play the worst of the worst, but there are a lot of people that do rely on this as a safety net, elderly, rural, in inner city and rural areas. It happens everywhere.
Disabled,
yes. There are some very legitimate reasons to have a safety net, but this has always been my problem with the safety net is people taking advantage of it. And it's in our nature to do it. It's what we do as freaking humans. So it's like, it all starts with good intentions, but politicians and the citizens will take advantage of it for their own reasons. It brings me to a quote. I put it in the show notes. I don't know if you noticed it. It's from one of my favorite founding fathers, Ben Franklin. And this is my take on it, on the safety net. He says, "I'm for doing good to the poor, but I differ in opinion of the means. I think the best way of doing good to the poor is not making them easy in poverty, but leading or driving them out of it. In my youth, I traveled much. I observed in different countries that the more public provisions were provided to the poor, the less they provided for themselves, and of course became poorer. And on the contrary, the less was done for them, the more they did for themselves, and the richer they became." And that's exactly my view of it. I get the safety net, but you should not be comfortable. It should be the bare necessities. And here's a solution. Let's go back to government cheese. Let's expand that program. They used to give cheese out to the poor. I know, it's so gross. Literally Velveeta, I think it was, or a kind of Velveeta.
It was processed.
Yeah, it was very very processed cheese, because there's an overproduction of milk, or I can't remember what it was. They had all this cheese in this warehouse, and they were just giving away for years. But how about this? How about the government gives you food and gives you what they think you need? And that's your safety net.
Well, I think they're doing that.
They are?
Yeah, well, it's the government making the decisions.
No, I mean, they give you the food. You don't get a card to go choose.
Leave it to government. They'll give them soft drinks because, some big pharma is going to give them some dollars because they want some more diabetes.
And we can have that. We can have that debate and argument, but at least we'll know what's going on, and we can shape it in the way we want it. But it just willy nilly. Here's $4,000. Go do what you want with it. I don't think so. I think if you want a safety net, I'm good. I'm fine. But I think it needs to be. It's just like welfare. It's like the EBT cash that they're talking about. Oh yeah, she got $13,000 in SNAP benefits and $13,000 or $20,000 in EBT cash. That's just plain old welfare, not even food stamps welfare or whatever. To me, it's all the same. But
the other thing is, I think I've asked this before. If you go on SNAP benefits, let's say you're disabled, and you get which I think, sometimes they need that help.
Yeah.
But do they have to reapply for it ever?
Good question.
Because I think they should make everybody reapply for it, regardless if it's disabled or.
I think they might. I remember reading somewhere that was one of the problems with they put more restrictions on like Medicare, Medicaid, that kind of stuff, or more reporting, and people were complaining because every so often you have to reapply or something. I'm not sure if that applies to that, but they might be able to. Of course, I naturally will lean towards no, but that might be
people that live off this stuff, and I'm talking about the able-bodied people.
Mm-hmm.
we need to make it tougher we need them to jump through more hoops to get it. And more often, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I think it needs, it needs to be a little more difficult. It doesn't need to be a windfall at all. And that's what it feels like. It feels like they're just woohoo. And I get it. They're poor. It's not like they're driving Lambos or anything. But I mean, you're getting $4,000 or $5,000 a month just for food. That's a lot. $3,000 a month for food. Holy cow! And that's kind of back to the other thing is what do you pay? What are you using with it? What are you buying with it? Junk. You're buying overpriced junk. Let's get back to this. I want to finish this up real quick. Idea Stream had a little clip on what Summit County wants to do and who they blame.
With Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits expected to run out this weekend, Summit County officials are warning that people will go hungry if the government shutdown continues. I'm IdeaStream Public Media's Abigail Botar. Summit County Council approved an additional $250,000 Monday night to go to the Akron-Canton Regional Food Bank. County Executive Eileen Shapiro says that will fund 750,000 meals.
Despite our financial assistance, this money will not go very far.
County officials say more than 77,000 people, or 13% of Summit County residents, are on SNAP, which will end November 1st if the government doesn't reopen. Representative Amelia Sykes, whose district includes all of Summit County, says Republicans need to come back to the bargaining table.
Finger pointing does not feed children.
She's calling on the Trump administration to release contingency funds to pay for SNAP benefits. Summit County officials say SNAP recipients can call 211 for food assistance. Abigail Botar, IdeaStream Public Media. Or
you can just vote for the continuing resolution of the exact same quote-unquote budget from last year. Or you could just do that.
They said 13%?
13% of Summit County.
That's more than 1 in 8.
Yeah.
I mean, just a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
That is crazy, man.
Yep. And, also onto this, and this is, I got to get on a plane in a little while, in like a month or so, so they better get this stuff straightened out because now the air traffic controllers are now starting to go without pay.
Yeah,
they have to come to work, so, but they can eat. They can. I think the last time this happened this long, there happened to be a lot of call-ins. People were calling in sick a lot. There was a big short, and they're kind of having that now. That there's already a shortage of air traffic controllers, and this is going to make it worse. Delays, and hopefully delays is all we have to worry about because I got to get on a plane here a few weeks here, so get this stuff taken care of. So it could be safety concerns. All planes in the skies, not a lot of eyes on the board. So let's keep an eye on that, I guess. Going through, I don't think, they say 3,000, a shortage of 3,000 air traffic controllers already. So they're saying,
my neighbor's daughter's waiting to be one. She went to school for it and everything. But I think you have to, there's like a minimum age. She went right after, I think she went to college. But I think you have to be at least 24 or 26 to be a air traffic controller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm wondering because that was her decision right away when she went to school.
Interesting.
And I'm wondering if we're going to have a flood of kids that are going to do it,
Yeah, and use them
in a short. Yeah, definitely. I'm just kind of curious if there was a trend, I guess. And I didn't realize, I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't realize there was a age restriction.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. It needs some reliable people, responsible people.
People showing up sober.
So, yes, that's not the first thing I thought of too. That was my responsible comment.
Yeah.
So the next one thing is real quick is Head Start programs are not getting their funding this month, starting today. And that's another concern for a lot because there is, a lot of people use Head Start as daycare. So they won't have, some people may need to make choices of where to put their kids. That's I don't know what you're supposed to do, but.
Well, that's another thing. I know not every family can do this, but That was something that grandparents did back in the day.
Yeah, if you don't want to be on SNAP, a lot of the best way to do that. Oh yeah, that's right. I have two parent households. Yeah. And maybe not having 7 kids with 7 baby daddies.
They're not taking their kids to daycare. Trust me.
That's for sure.
And they're not working.
They're not working or using daycare. Okay.
You're lucky if they know where half the kids are.
So Head Start is going to they're again, the county, or so the one report or story we have in the notes is they're talking about Cuyahoga County Head Start, and they are not going to get their federal funding. They did get a donation to keep them going for a couple more weeks from the community, which, yes, that's kind of ironic that it takes a donation from the community when that's probably who should be paying for it to begin with.
How did that happen, though? The donation from the community.
It does not specify.
When I read this story, that was one of the things that jumped out at me. I was like, okay, they got a donation from the community. What does that even mean? Did they try to was there a fundraiser? I don't understand.
You would think if there was a GoFundMe or something, they would have said it, but I don't know it. I read the article and listened to the report. Well, here, listen to the report. Well, there's a part of it.
We will have no money after the 31st, and that's scary.
At Cuyahoga County Head Start, the doors are still open, but the clock is ticking. A recent donation from the community has allowed them to remain open until November 14th, but it's only a temporary fix.
We cannot run our program on just donations. It costs about $50,000 a week to keep ourselves open, and that's just paying staff.
The program has about 60 staff members and serves 140 children. They say they were already operating in crisis mode due to inflation, and now the shutdown is pushing the program to a possible breaking point.
Some of our children, this is the food that they get for the day. I mean, we feed breakfast, lunch, and a snack before they go home.
Across Ohio, 6 other Head Start programs, who along with Cuyahoga collectively serve over 3,700 children, are facing the same dilemma. No new federal funds. They say many families have no other affordable childcare options. Head Start leaders say children can't pause their development for a political gridlock.
Children aren't pawns in the game that the government's playing right now. Children are our future, and we're kind of playing with their lives right now.
There's a song about that. Actually, to correct you, yes, actually they are pawns.
That's how they're using them.
That's how when you have parents who have to rely or generationally rely on the government for funding, then you are a pawn. You're a slave in their system. Sorry, but
I'm kind of curious here. How much do they charge per child? Now, let's say it's because that $50,000 a week with 140,000 or 140 kids is about $70 a day, basically, or 5-day week.
Right.
Now, how much is SNAP covering of that? And that's just for paying the staff. Why do they have 60 people for 140 kids? That's another thing. Secondly, how much is SNAP paying for each child? And I guess
sounds like all of it.
Really? Okay.
I mean, we can't survive on donations alone. I don't know what else do they have. Do people pay? I mean, this is a Head Start program, so it is a federally funded.
Right. But let's say somebody can pay $100 a week.
Good
that
question.
Cuts, and the rest is paid by SNAP. I don't. They really don't give you much here in this article. I would like to know, it's $50,000 a week for 60 people. That averages out to a little bit over, I think it was
like $8 or $9 bucks.
What was that?
$800 or $900 a week or something, isn't it? Wasn't it?
It was about almost $900.
Yeah.
And which comes out to about $40-some thousand a year. But why do they have 60 staff members for 140 kids?
So they have 60 staff members. In the article. It says no federal funding could put more than 900 Head Start staff members across the state. So there's 900 across the state. They have 60.
Right. Why are there 900 for 140 kids? I don't. That's a lot.
Seems
of
like a lot. Yeah. I get there. You need more than just the teachers. You need some other. But yeah, that's a good point. Well, 140 kids.
I'm just asking that question.
I
don't know anything about this, but it seems extreme.
But again, going back to EBT and SNAP, if the funds just come in, you're going to grow as much as your funds will allow you to grow, whether you need to or not. I mean, I hate to put this in such broad brushes, but
I'll tell you what I think. I think you're. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think the state is getting ripped off.
Yes.
Or the Fed, obviously, because I don't know. I've known people that did daycare. This is for just the staff. It's costing $70 a day per child.
Seems like
it's a little.
I'd like to see the numbers. You know why need 60? That seems like an awful lot. I could see maybe 30.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how this all works, but
I'm not a child care expert.
No,
I did stay at Holiday Express every now and again.
I knew people that weren't on SNAP that did. How much is weekly child care? A little bit over $500 a week, maybe. I don't know. I guess
it could be up
probably
to
just
that.
Depends where you go, but
it depends on the place and the amount of hours and all that stuff. But easily $350 and up a week.
Yeah, well, this is $350 just for the staffs, and if it's government run or funded, then it seems a little high.
Yeah, I again, like, if it's given to you, it is. It may be. It's easier to waste. There's more waste, I think, in all this kind of stuff. When you're just given. That's kind of my point with the food stamps.
You know what?
You just get $4,000 a month and you get to buy whatever you want. Basically, no. We should just be providing you a box full of food or 2 boxes of food, whatever it is, and you eat what's in there. If you don't, then you don't.
If there's a listener out there that has kids in daycare, give us a ballpark figure of what you're spending per child per week. I'd love to know, because I've never had to deal with this. So
yeah, and back to your point about grandparents. Thankfully, neither have I.
Yeah.
Because I have wonderful in-laws, and I'm blessed. I'm not saying this. I'm not pounding my chest on that. I'm very thankful. But and then you reminded me, I didn't put any of the reminders in the notes about. Subscribe to the show, people. Let us know what you think. We've droned on enough about SNAP benefits and EBT and the government shutdown. Long story short is it's going to be okay. We're going to take care of you. But this should open people's eyes up. It really should. But tell us what you think. Like Tom said, if you've got some experience with daycare or SNAP, let us know.
I just did a search for average daycare costs. And in Ohio, it can range from $750 to $2,000 a month. Now, depending on if it's an infant, $991 for infants and $847 for toddlers. That's for daycare. So it ranges from $100 to $350 a week. So we're paying $350 a week here just for the staff per child.
What about all the supplies and the building and
yeah. No, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It seems like it seems like it seems a little extreme cost wise.
Yeah, and again, you're gonna why tighten the belt when you don't need to? Let's hire more friends.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to make accusations. I just when the money's flowing, you're much more loose with what you're doing with it. So
Free money, Rob.
It's just digital air money.
I have no idea why we're $38 trillion in debt.
Digital air, because I know, just make it all digital air money and it'll go away. That's what I'm thinking. So yes, please check out check out our show notes, the blog post. Every Monday when the show drops, we'll have a blog post there, has all our notes and links and stuff in it. CrookedRivercast.com. Shoot us an email. Tell us what you think at crookedrivercast@gmail.com. And we thank you for listening to our wonderful show. At least we think it's wonderful. And moving on to something that doesn't have to do with SNAP benefits, but it does have to do with children. And that is a new proposal in the state legislature, which was just right off the bat, it ain't going anywhere. But Senate Bill 93, which would establish a school funding system without vouchers or levies. Instead, Brenner, the Republican from Delaware who proposed this, proposes establishing a financing system supported by statewide taxes. Well, what does he want to do? Under the SB 93, school districts would no longer be able to levy property taxes or income taxes. Instead, Brenner proposes a statewide $20 mil property tax to be distributed across public and charter schools, and raising the Ohio state state sales tax by 1.75%, bringing it up to 7.5%. And all additional sales tax revenue would go directly to the education fund. So what he's trying to do is what I've been saying we need to do, which is fund the student. So the plan would fund schools on a per pupil basis. Brenner expects to allocate about $11,535 per student, and the funding would follow the students to their public or charter school of choice, eliminating the need for some education voucher programs. So what a lot of states have done around the country, I think there's more than a dozen that have done this exact thing, which is they fund the student. So the student gets X amount of dollars every year, and you could get to go to any school you want to in the state. Any public or private, you just allot it. You just tell the state where you're going, and then they give that school the money. What do you think, Tom?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds better.
Sounds better. Yeah, it's not better. It's not the answer, but
it's way closer. It doesn't get rid of property tax, but
I've read it and I'm trying to go through it right now, and I'm trying to see if there's anything that sticks out.
I mean, it's not I don't think it's a complete solution. I think there needs to be some other. Like going back to the SNAP thing. I mean, how about looking at the budget a little closer? I'm sure they're going to say they do, but I'm not sure.
I think politicians are like really just trying to do something.
Yes, they are. They are trying to do whatever they can. But to me, this is the first one that actually is something different. Everything else that I've seen is just a Band-Aid.
Right.
On an already overly complicated system
but this
that has been ruled unconstitutional.
But this still seems like kind of a...
It's a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It's just the best Band-Aid I've seen so far because and it really gets to where I think we should be going, which is funding the kids, because that will, what that will do, in my opinion, is get the schools competing against each other. Right now, private schools, they compete against each other, and they compete hard against each other. And it makes them better. It makes them way better because they need to keep those scores and those test scores up, because that's how a lot of people choose where they're sending their kids. And public schools don't have to do that. They just keep getting more and more and more with nothing to show for it. And I get it if some people are nervous about this. I understand. But just ask yourself, how's it working for you so far?
What do you think? So there's like close by in Medina, there's a Highland School District, right? That is supposed to be like one of the best in the state. How does that school, it's public, get so much better than other local public schools?
Well,
I mean, is it just the people, the community just agreeing to spend more?
I don't know. What's their spending? I guess that'd be my one question.
I don't know.
Are they spending more, or do they just have more engaged parents?
I don't know. They got because it grew so fast and the school's so newer, I should say. That's the one with almost like a college campus.
A lot of them are that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah. It's curious. I'm curious to understand that.
That's kind of my biggest problem with all the proponents to all these things is more money does not mean better education. We can prove that over and over again. That's why I say.
But the worst abusers of that are the urban central schools.
Right.
It seems like some suburban schools do a pretty good job of using tax dollars for that.
We could have just tied this segment into the SNAP benefits, because I think for me, from my observation, in my opinion, it comes down to the family. It comes down to the home. If you've got single parents, which the inner city is filled with, I'm pretty sure majority single parents, maybe that's going too far, but that's a pretty decent guess.
What, in urban?
In the urban city.
It's definitely more single parent households.
If you have a single parent household, it's much harder for you to pay attention to what's happening to your kids in school than if you have two parents.
Right.
Even if two parents are working, it's twice as hard. And I think that has a lot to do with why some of these rural communities do better with less money, because they have more two-parent households. And I mean, poverty breeds crime, and that's a part of it too. If your kid's worried about getting knifed or robbed on his way to school, they'd be worried too much about what's going on in school, that kind of stuff. That doesn't happen as much in the rural community. And that, to me, that's a good example, because I think in a lot of areas, rural communities are underfunded because of just lack of tax revenue, because there's not a lot of people there.
Yeah.
As much. And the inner cities they've got, I think the last I checked, I think Cleveland is like $19,000 per student or something.
It's crazy.
And I think the state average is like 16. So they're way above the state average, 20% above the state average, whatever that would be. And their test scores are like the worst, some of the worst in the state.
Yeah, I guess it's just the community doesn't pay attention who's on the school board, things like that. I would think places like Medina County, people pay attention to that a lot more.
So Brenner's saying about 50% of schools' funding comes from local property taxes or income taxes, local. About 40% of funds come from federal programs. The state does 40%, and the remaining comes from federal programs. So about 10% of the funding comes from the federal government. For example, the largest school district in Ohio, which is a Columbus City School District, gets 68.6% of its funding from local taxes. And a district like Dublin and Bexley, which receive less state support, local taxes contribute about 85% of the district's revenue. So you go from, a city to a rural area.
Suburban
area, sorry, not rural area, suburban area. Now, would there be some schools that close? Yeah, probably. But again, that sounds scary. But how's it been working for you so far? You just keep getting taxed to oblivion. The test scores don't really get any better.
Right.
Again, I don't think this is going to go anywhere, but it's just the first Band-Aid I see that was halfway decent. Because if you abolish property taxes, this is how you're going to fund it. You're going to do sales taxes and other things to do besides taxing us on our unrealized gains from our increasingly increased home values, and for what? So again, it's not going to go anywhere, but just going through, making sure anything else I missed on this thing. Again, next 2 years, school funding is set the way it is, so nothing's going to change for at least 2 years. But again, I think this might be a little bit more of the virtue signaling from politics. I mean, I like it, but I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. Anything else you got on that?
No, they're just trying to do something because I think it will get on the ballot. The tax elimination.
This would get rid of ed choice expansion, which I currently take advantage of.
Right.
And I'm okay with it. Get rid of it. And give the citizens of Ohio, give the parents who care, an option to get their kids out of a bad situation. That's what was funded. That's what was ruled by the Constitution. Ohio, the Supreme Court was unconstitutional because you're stuck. You're forced to go to the school where you were born. Because if you don't have the funds to go to a private school, you're already being taxed. You're stuck where you're at in the current system. And in this way, at least as a parent, you have the choice if you wanted to make those sacrifices and take your kid out of the bad system into a better one. Don't make them comfortable in it. And that's all I got for that one.
Yeah.
Next bill, we've got a few bills today, I'm not sure how important this is to people, but I think it's an interesting example of, government overreach, I guess, because State House is advancing bills to tighten marijuana and hemp laws. I think this whole push started in the House. There's a version of the bill in the House that they're going to have to reconcile on because it's passed both the House and the Senate, but they're very different bills from what I can see. And part of that is because the House bill kind of started with sound like they're trying to get the state to do what it was voted on, do what the people wanted, which was give the communities a cut of the tax revenue from these dispensaries, marijuana dispensaries. And so far, they haven't got a dime. And I think the House part of the House bill has this in it, has the, to start distributing this stuff. And the Senate bill does not. Plus, the Senate bill they want to put much bigger regulations on everything. And then this does take care of the hemp, intoxicating hemp, and put some regulations on it, put some rules in it about advertising to.
No, stop. Think of the children.
So that you can't be advertising to children, which, if you've seen some of the products they come out with, it's quite obvious. It's quite obvious what they're doing. But this would eliminate a lot of that, put some rules and regulations on advertising and packaging to protect the children and tax and regulate hemp, intoxicate, not CBD. They said that does not intoxicate you. So you can take all of it you want as long as it doesn't get you high. You don't care what else it does to you. And they're pretty far apart on these bills. So this is not going anywhere soon. I think it'll probably be a while before they figure this out. Kind of sounds like that. They're talking like summertime or something. So, to me, it's, I guess, be careful what you wish for. You didn't really get the right. You just got permission. Anything about that? Okay.
Not at all. I think that they're just trying to do something for what DeWine was doing, right?
Yeah. DeWine's been complaining about the intoxicating hemp.
Yeah.
And they're trying to slide in some other crap into it.
Yeah. No, this is all BS.
Yeah. We gave them the tools to, instead of just legalizing it, we gave them the tools. I get it. They got to regulate it, I guess.
No, they should just decriminalized it. That was it.
Yeah. You and I talked about this when this first happened. I was like, oh, look. And they're like, yeah, but still a problem because it's not really legal. It's just approved. Without...
Pot was never a problem. They should have just decriminalized it. Now all of a sudden it's a problem because government's involved.
Yeah. And you know it's a problem, or it's something fishy going on when they I think it's federally a higher class of drug than like cocaine.
I think it's the same, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's something, it's way up. I mean, it's like class 1 narcotic. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
I forget how they classify that stuff, but it's like, it's on the top rung.
And that prevents anybody from getting federal dollars to study it.
Right. Well, study pot. Oh, come on.
Well, I mean, studying the medicinal, you can't get any federal funding out of it because it's a narcotic. So I think that's the big pharma telling him, or, they put this in and keep us in the loop, so. And I got family that works at, one of the major hospital systems in the area and going through some health issues a few years back. And I was like, oh, it's legalized now. I was like, you can just go get some, something to help your pain or whatever. He goes, no, I can't. I was like, what do you mean you can't? He goes, no, they random drug test at work. And I was like, okay, so I'll get a card. Oh, no, they don't recognize that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, no, of course they're not going to recognize it. You're taken away from them. So more of the same, I guess. All right. So I think this next story is something I've been kind of following on the edges to see if anything ever comes up of it. But there is a major scandal apparently going on with the Ohio teachers' pension program, and there might be some shadiness going on. Let's see if we can get it in the little backgrounder in the clip. I think is what I have. Is that what I got? Yeah, no backgrounder on what's going on with the Ohio teachers' pension. Now, where is that button anyway?
A year and a half of fighting allegations of corruption, all leading to Monday. The Attorney General's team is making its case in court, arguing that the state teachers' retirement system board chair Rudy Fichtenbaum needs to be removed from his position, and former board member Wade Steen needs to be banned from ever returning to public pensions. For the past year, we have dug into and exposed the controversy swirling inside STRS, the more than $100 billion pension fund for the more than 500,000 active and retired public educators in Ohio. The state accuses Fichtenbaum and Steen of attempting to contract steer 70% of STRS assets to QED, a startup investment firm. The AG's office says QED's founders, Seth Metcalf and J.D. Tremmel, have backdoor ties to both men and have no track record, clients, or capability to invest $65 billion. Fichtenbaum and Steen say they didn't do anything wrong. Steen's attorney says the proposal would help with financial struggles and provide more money to retirees. Through a public records request, we uncovered hundreds of text messages where Steen was given questions to ask during board meetings, documents to propose, pushing him to follow QED's plan. And Steen did. But the defense said that getting advice isn't a crime. And Steen testified his goal was a better retirement for teachers. As well as Steen, Fichtenbaum, Metcalf, and Tremmel are expected to take the stand during the trial. At the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas, I'm Morgan Trow reporting.
Yeah. Hi, Morgan. Good to have you back. And not that she went anywhere, but
no, it's good to hear from her. We haven't heard from her in a while.
Yeah, yeah. So $100 billion fund. And these two guys, first of all, if you notice in there, she says them together and became a Fichtenbaumenstein. I had to replay it. I'm like, did they become? Oh, okay. So 70%, nearly $68 billion they're going to give to one investment firm that just started and has no experience, according to the report. They weren't going to try with a couple billion. No, let's give them 70% of the fund. And then what they're claiming, and this is a civil case to get them removed. It's not even a criminal case to get them removed off the. Yeah, Dave Yost has a civil lawsuit filed a year and a half ago to get them off the board, basically. And what they found, it sounds like, is so these guys, Steen and Fichtenbaum, are like the QET, the company that's going to win the 70% of the fund to invest, and a whole lot of fees, I'm sure, is giving them, like he's giving them the QED was given Fechtein Baumenstein, we'll call him now, Fechtein Baumenstein, advice on how to get this through and how to ask the right questions and say it this way. It kind of sounded like, here, ask this question, use this report or use this paperwork, this kind of stuff. And they're saying they got backdoor ties to these guys, to this organization.
Well, do we know what the ties are?
Because
that's what I've been looking for, but I don't see anything.
They don't say. They say backdoor ties, which, yes, question marks. To me, the biggest red flag is you have a brand new investment company and you're going to give them 70% of this humongous fund. It seems, at the best, it seems like a really bad idea.
Yeah, it's retarded.
I get it. You want to, because they were saying, well, they're going to have way lower fees and that kind of stuff, so we're going to save a bunch of money, which I get, but
70% though,
you got to give them this big chunk all at once. Kind of sounds like you got greedy a little bit. Maybe these guys would be better, but I mean, you're just going to dump more than half the fund to this untested organization or company. They make one bad move, and you just screwed a whole bunch of teachers.
It's not how I would want my pension fund handled.
No. So they're on trial. They're gonna testify. We'll follow it and see what comes up to it. But so yeah, they showed that QED wrote documents for Steen and gave him direct questions to ask, and he did. But as I said, getting advice is not a crime. No, you're right. It isn't a crime, but it looks really bad. Yeah, I think that's about all we got on that one. Yeah, they were crafting questions for him, which I mean, in some ways is,
I don't know. That doesn't sound
okay, but
shouldn't your lawyer be doing that?
Yeah, it should be somebody. Yeah, it's like the sales guy is telling you how to pitch this to your wife on the Mercedes SUV you want to buy. That's what it sounded like to me. Like, no, tell her this. No, tell him that. And he's going to give you the rosiest outcome or rosiest information because they want this deal. So it's not great. It's not great advice to be taken, or a great idea to take an advice from the company is about to benefit hugely from this decision. So
I don't think my wife would mind a Mercedes SUV, but if I said if the salesman was selling me a Lambo, I might have to try to sell her on that idea.
Well, if you get a Lambo SUV, I think I don't know if they had
only if
they do actually.
Do they?
I'm pretty sure because my daughter and I used to watch, it's not on anymore, the Top Gear, and I'm pretty sure they had a Lamborghini. Yeah, Lamborghini Urus. Yeah, it's called.
Yeah,
the
they
Urus.
have one. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Isn't it the Urus? Isn't that what's called? You are something. I remember because the one they tested was a bright yellow one because they figured it matched the name.
I'm looking at a black one.
Lamborghini urine.
I used one with 1,000 miles on it.
Oh my gosh, how much?
It's a 2025 all-wheel drive. It's black.
It's not used. 1,000 miles. I mean, if it was bought, it is used. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of dealers that sell cars with 3,000 miles on it as brand new. So.
Yeah.
How much?
But $315.
Oh, they got two? Can I get two?
It's sharp looking.
Yeah, but it's
not much of an SUV though.
It's not really a Lambo either. I forget what they'd said in their review. It's something like it's got a Lamborghini badge on it, but it's not necessarily. Yeah.
It is good looking though.
Yes, yeah. Porsche has one too. So
there's a 2020 for 192,000.
How did we get on Lamborghini pensions? I don't know.
Well, that was my
rat hole. All right, so let's move. We'll do that next. Let's do Spotlight. I'm not prepared, Tom. I'm horrible at this now. Oh yeah, here it is. Spotlight. I got to say it while it happens. Spotlight. That way people can tell what it is.
Do it again.
Spotlight.
Wait, do it again.
Okay. Spotlight.
Spotlight! Oh, damn it. I missed my button.
At this. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, so Spotlight Ohio today is going to be the one and only Hocking Hills. Hocking Hills. You ever been down there, Tom?
Never.
Never?
No.
You probably driven through it, I imagine.
Nope. I don't think I've going to Kentucky?
Maybe going somewhere. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe, but I no. I've always wanted to. You know what? I want to do a photography expedition there.
Yeah, this time of year actually would be really good.
Yeah, that's the hard part. It's far away. Like I would like to do it for a couple of nights, maybe a few times in one.
It's about an hour south of southeast, I think. South of Columbus. Let's put it that way. About an hour south of Columbus.
Yeah, so it's almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's just a little far to go down there. A handful. That's a retirement thing for me.
Yeah, we have. I spent a little bit of time down there. We had 2 friends that got married down there, and we actually stayed in a cabin down there for the weekend while they got married. And then, I had to get dressed up 2 weekends in a row, of course, because they had the wedding and then a reception in the following week, so we got to party twice. I did have to get dressed in a tuxedo twice, which, it's okay. I can handle it. But 2 good friends of ours got married, so we did spend some time. And it's awesome down there. If you're into hiking and biking, you probably already know about it. But a couple other things there's hiking and biking, of course. There's great rock climbing. They've got some beautiful cabins you can rent there. I was looking online real quick, just kind of sharpening up on it. They've got a gorgeous tree house that you could rent there. That's just like literally in the trees. It's just like 2 or 3 story, like rounded. It's pretty cool. If you're looking on the Hocking Hills website, they've got some gorgeous looking rentals you can do there and spend the week there. Outdoor stuff, but they've got shops. They've got, Tom, you can go to one of the few working and commissionable blacksmiths in Ohio down there. Smith shop is a blacksmith down there. You can take classes down there, and they've got the country's only pencil sharpening museum with over 3,400 exhibits, pencil sharpeners from all around the world and all around the country. But before you get there, you may want to stop at the Hocking Hills Brewery, have a few brewskis for the before you go into the Columbus Washboard Factory, the last washboard factory in the United States of America. You can get handmade washboards.
I always wanted to start that jug band.
Exactly. You see, even say it in one of the advertisements. So yeah, we sell to a lot of bands, and they actually send a lot overseas to the troops overseas when they're deployed, because a lot of times you literally can't. You don't have a washing machine.
Right.
And they use a washboard for it. So yeah, pretty cool kind of stuff. But this week would be the week to go if you can get a cabin, because they're usually sold out a year in advance at this time of year, or 8-9 months. You got to get that far ahead of it before you can get a cabin down there during this, because it's beautiful down there now. But check it out, Hocking Hills. I recommend it. Weekend trip, definitely, or just a long day trip. I mean, check it out. We'll put the links in the show notes on the blog post at crookedrivercast.com. And check it out. I recommend it. It's beautiful. I got our friends that got married, they go there every year for their anniversary. They love it. And it's a great place to just disconnect. Turn your phone off, go outside, get some vitamin D. We can all use a little bit. All right. And like I said, subscribe to the show. Check out crookedrivercast.com, crookedrivercast@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. Next, I'll touch on this real quick. So a week or so ago, Cuyahoga County proposed their new budget. And the headline is, Cuyahoga County reduces spending ahead of healthcare cost increases. So they're claiming they're cutting the budget. But as we know, they mostly never cut the budget. What do they usually do? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
They cut the increase.
Right.
To the budget. That's not cutting the budget. That's cutting the increase, which is exactly what's happening here. They're trimming their spending for health and welfare over the next couple of years. So you get some numbers here. Overall, the budget included general fund, health and human services spending and capital improvements is set at a $1.95 billion in 2026 and $1.98 billion in 2027 under Ronane's budget. The general fund, which covers salaries for government, for county government and daily operations, would be $634 million in 2026 and $651 million in 2027. Tax revenues are a large source of the revenue for the budget, and the Health and Human Services part of the budget, which is largely funded by voter-approved property tax levies, would be set to about $297.2 million in 2026 and $297 million flat in 2027. So they're going to cut $200,000 from the health and welfare budget. It seemed like a whole lot. I think it's like 1%. Is that like 1%? I don't even know. Maybe less than 1%, I think. Let's see. So they're expecting to have increased costs. They're expecting to have a list of programs operated by outside organizations and subsidized by the county are facing cuts under Ronane's budget, including a total of $88.5 million over 2 years from the ADAMHA board. They don't tell me what that is, but thanks. Which oversees funding for mental health and addiction services in the county. Metro Health is facing $4.5 million in budget cuts because the county funds Metro, which kind of curious. How come UH and Cleveland Clinic have more money than God, but Metro doesn't? Always wondered that. That's just an open question. I don't know the answer to. See. In total, about $42 million would be cut from the programs over the next 2 years under Ronane's proposed budget. We have budgeted for a 10% increase in costs, totaling $14 million. In addition, property tax delinquency remains high. Interesting. And sales tax revenues continue to fluctuate. So people can't pay their property taxes is part of the problem. Wonder why.
Or people are moving out. Delinquencies.
Well,
yeah, okay.
It could be. They could be delinquent and then moved, but and then they bring up Snap, this came out before the Snapocalypse. Yeah, that's what we're calling it. And that's about it. So they're trimming the budget. They're trimming the increase to the budget by a little bit. So this kind of coincides with last week. We talked about them giving back $35 million to counties because they had too much money for the education fund, sounded like, or they had an excess. Thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe you could use some of that. But no, you should cut more. Definitely should cut. Because I could see you probably have lots of fat to cut. So let's keep going. This is lame. This is lame. You know what?
No, we need a Cuyahoga County Doge. We can't let them do it.
Yeah, somebody else needs to take a look at this stuff. Yep. That's actually a great point. The county is in severe debt I think they're like $1 billion in debt or more. Right? Shouldn't throw numbers out there without looking, but I do all the time.
I heard a pretty good quote this week. Let me see if I can get it right. If a county, let's say, if a government financer was a health dietitian, let's say, if I gained 50 pounds this year and then I gained 30 pounds the next year, he would tell me I lost 20 pounds.
Yeah. Exactly. Cutting the increase, which is what this is. Yes, the Cuyahoga County is over $1.97 billion in debt as of late 2024, so it's probably even more now. So keep cutting because you know what, this sucks. This sucks, and And
does it like you?
Yeah, this is no good. Keep going. Keep trying. Don't be crying that you're cutting. Keep cutting. How about we start with some of your salary? Because you suck. All right.
Yeah.
Well, our next story, this should be a fun one. Massillon football, now with pepper spray. So here's a story that's been growing and brewing for the past couple weeks.
I saw what was going on Twitter, and I had some jokes on this, but after I watched the video, the jokes don't really work. But how they were they were making such a race issue.
Yes,
on Twitter.
Yes, did you hear the update a couple days ago on who they brought in to this?
No.
So let's get a yeah, no, well, close. Let's get a little bit. Let's tell the listeners what. So this school from St. Louis came in to play Massillon, which I was very confused. I'm like, there's a city called St. Louis in Ohio? I'm like, no, they came from St. Louis. It is St. Louis Cardinal Ritter College Prep. They came to play Massillon, and they lost. And the game ended. From what I can see, they started doing the good game,
mm-hmm.
and some scuffles. Some people were shoved or something was going on, and there was a little commotion. So they were trying to break it up, and madness ensued. Not really, but there was just a bunch of commotion on the field, and I think the police just had enough. They were telling people to get off the field, and most of them weren't moving. The Massillon team started moving towards. So if you look at the video of this, the St. Louis team should have gone to the right to their locker room, and the Massillon team should have gone to the left, and they were kind of in the middle of the field. And the band was trying to start playing, so they broke up this little commotion, and they were trying to. The cops came in, and we're starting to break it up, get everybody off the field. Let's not escalate this anymore. And well, let's listen to. Here's some raw audio. I want you to know. See if you can pick up on anything. Maybe I'll point it out to you in the end. But there's again, this is just a camera that was on the field. It's not like a body camera. It looks like a professional camera. That wasn't like someone's cell phone. And it's just raw audio of what's going on. It's about a minute long or something like that. But you can kind of hear maybe why this kind of happens if you listen to right here. There it is. Spotlight. No. Go. 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 Then a little commotion starts. Again. Now the pepper spray. And the screaming. So the booze. Let's see if you can hear this at the end of what he says. Somebody yells. Right here. Yeah, you can't even hear it. You can't even hear it. Someone at the end says, it sounds to me like they say, you peppered your own kind.
Yeah, it was a black officer, right?
One of them was.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why there was a couple things I was thinking when I just saw the headline and I saw the reaction on well, I said Twitter, but on X.
Yes, shame on you.
When I saw the reaction, I was like, God, what is the Massillon team like all white?
No.
And this was like a mostly black team that came in, and they're trying to make it like a racist thing. And,
yes.
But it's not true at all.
Well, they brought in Ben Crump. You may not know, and I didn't know this, but Ben Crump was the George Floyd lawyer.
Oh, okay.
And others, I believe.
Yay.
So here's a little bit from Mr. Crump. This is from News Channel 3. Actually, that bit of audio was actually from the New York Post website or YouTube channel. And here's a little bit from News Channel 3 on kind of an update. This happened 3 weeks ago, and a couple of days ago, they had an update with when this guy Crump came in. You may want to say that this is inner city kind of stuff, but I don't think it is, because this is a decent, it's a prep school. So this is not something. And on top of that, these parents band together and hired this dude. And I'm sure he's not cheap. I mean, unless he's doing it pro bono, which maybe. But let's listen to what he has to say. He thinks, I mean, it sounds like he has a solution, but let's see what you think.
Justice for the young lions. Justice for the young lions.
More than 3 weeks after Massillon police pepper sprayed players from St. Louis Cardinal Ritter following the Lions' loss to Massillon, Washington.
Solution.
I'm not sure what in the world is going on now.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is now playing defense for the Lions.
You don't have the police come and pepper spray only the predominantly black team and don't do anything to the other team? How's that
pepper spray equally?
Fair? Crump, along with Ohio attorneys and Cardinal Ritter parents, spoke to media in St. Louis Monday afternoon.
Listen, Mom.
He says if police don't apologize, lawyers will consider litigation or filing complaints with Ohio enforcement agencies.
And there's no way to try to justify using chemical agents on 14, 15, 16-year-old children.
There were no 14 or 15-year-olds there.
In a statement, Massillon police say there were multiple physical altercations between both teams. 2 officers deployed pepper spray after police say Cardinal Ritter players ignored their commands to leave the field and charged toward Massillon players.
What an odd scene.
Parents of the St. Louis players say they felt helpless.
He was just screaming and crying and saying, "Mama, what do I do?"
Him and all his teammates need to understand that this is not right.
And I checked with Massillon police today. They say that they are not commenting beyond their October 7th statement. In it, the department referenced the officers saying, in part, quote, "We have thoroughly reviewed this incident and found they operated within our policies and procedures for the use of force taken."
I mean, if you're gonna pepper spray one team, you better pepper spray both teams.
Exactly. That was the solution. Yeah. I think why not? I mean, if you're gonna spray both teams. Spray both teams. If you're gonna cry racism, you might as well do it right and just cry it for both teams.
That was pretty ridiculous.
Yes. Yes. Hence our reaction. Stupid. Come on. How much money you're wasting here? Apologize or else. Well. And so there's also at one point one of the Massillon players gets on the other side of the St. Louis players. I think it was the quarterback, and is jawing at these people, and they start following. He's backpedaling to try to get around back to his team, and they're chasing him until some of the coaches came in and broke it up. You know, there was about to be some stuff going down there, and I think these cops did exactly what they're supposed. I get it. If my kid was pepper sprayed, I'm sure I would have some words. What I do know is they weren't not listening to the police. And this is why they got pepper sprayed. If you're the cop sitting in front of, these are not 15 and 14-year-old kids. These are 16, 17, 8-year-old, basically men that most of them were bigger than the cops, wearing helmets and pads. What else would you like them to do? They were outnumbered, 30-1, and that's why you use pepper spray. They weren't listening. And yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like how many people from the video all I could see was one or two got a bit of pepper spray on their face.
I mean, a couple of them got it.
What was that?
A couple of them got hit pretty good, but I mean,
yeah, a couple. Yeah,
but I mean, I'm not.
It wasn't right up in their face, so people should go check out the video because I didn't when I watched it, I didn't think it was all that bad. Not that I want to be pepper sprayed, but it wasn't like right up into their face. It was probably a good 15, 20 feet away.
And it's not like the Massillon team was off the field. They were still collected themselves kind of off to the side, but they weren't really moving either. It's the St. Louis team kept encroaching closer and closer. Of course, they were the losing team, so they had the most to be bitter about, which makes sense, but it has nothing to do with race, of course, and everything to do with they were trying to clear the field so we didn't have a brawl and a riot on our hands, because that's what was about to happen. It looked to me, I mean, this was about to get out of hand real quick. And how do you get 280, 300-pound men in pads and helmets under control? Pepper spray. Chemical agents, Tom. Chemical agents.
Well, either that or have some fried chicken and collard greens on the side.
What's that going to do?
Get them to leave the...
I don't know. I don't know if it would. They were pretty upset. They got their asses handed to them. In
you ever have fried chicken, Rob?
Yes.
That calms you down.
Fried chicken is damn good. Collard greens, I've had some. They're okay, but you basically cook all the nutrients out of them anyway, so they're not really that good for you.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's just kind of like part of their culture, right?
Well, yeah, but
I'm trying to be as racist as I can without being obvious.
Yeah, but what about the white kids on the team? What are they going to do?
Fried chicken. Everybody loves fried chicken.
True, that's true. That tracks both. You're not actually being very inclusive. Everybody loves fried chicken. Why has it got to be a black thing?
No, I'm just being ridiculous because they made it a racial issue.
Yeah, which is funny because in the interview or in the press conference, they had the mom was a white mom, and the guy you talked to was a big black dude who was crying. So his point was kind of no. I'm looking at the field right now. I see 10 players in white shirts, and I see 3 white people. So it wasn't even like whatever. Listen. What did Chris Rock say about get pulled over by the cops? I wish I would have pulled that clip. That would have been a good one.
I don't remember.
If you don't want to get your ass beat, here's a few rules that you need. It was a Saturday Night Live clip or something where he gave rules on if you don't want to get your ass beat by the cops. And one of them was do what they tell you to do. Yeah. You're not going to win at the time. You're just going to get arrested or pepper sprayed. Sorry, go ahead.
No, nothing.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No,
Crookedrivercast@gmail.com.
Yeah, email us and tell us how ridiculous Tom is.
But to your point, though, yeah, it was very ridiculous. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's a tad overblown. But again, I'd probably be pissed too until I found out what happened. And if my kid wasn't listening, which one of the parents that was interviewed was, he was one of the kids who was right up on the cops. And
it's making me think of all the videos. It's making me think of all the videos I've seen of what's the taser? People being tasered and pepper sprayed that don't listen to the cop. It's amazing how many people just won't do what they're being asked to do.
I get that you may not like what they're asking you to do.
Well, yeah, who does?
But you're not going to win in that moment. You know what I mean? This is not a fight you're going to win.
Yeah, that's what the court system's for.
Yeah, all you're going to do is make yourself look worse. And right now, the Massillon police are saying, no, we did exactly what we were supposed to do. Because you know what we did? We stopped it from escalating. And if y'all can't see that, then...
It just looked like to me, if you watch the video, they're spraying the pepper spray probably about 15, 20 feet away. And they're just trying to keep people from. They were moving towards.
Yes.
The Massillon team, or is it Massillon?
Yeah,
Massillon.
Yeah.
They were moving towards the Massillon team, and they were just trying to back them off. Pepper spray doesn't kill you. It doesn't, okay, I'm sure it irritates terribly, but it's not like they got right up into their face and sprayed their eyes.
Actually, they did. A couple of them. There's a couple of kids that they sprayed it right into their helmet.
Yeah, after initially, the kids came forward, right?
Yeah, they were the closest kids. And then as the camera swings over, that's when you see the cop spraying like in the kind of out in the open.
Okay,
so
I missed
not that any of that matters, just that to me, the person that you need to be blaming are your coaches, because it seemed like the Massillon team that coaches had got it under control and had actually corralled all the kids, most of them, and were trying to get them off the field. And the St. Louis Cardinal kids were not. They were not. The coaches were not in between, as far as I could see. I could be wrong. I don't know exactly who was who, but the people to blame there are your coaches, because they did not have control of those kids on the field. It looks like to me, and nobody wants to do that good game crap anyways. It's always been one of those things for me. Like, hated doing that, but it's good sportsman. So good sport.
No, I think they should do that.
Yeah, it's good. It tempers.
You don't want to.
That's kind of
the whole reason you don't want them. You don't want to do it is the whole reason they should be doing it.
Yes, I agree. If you're the winning team, you want to do it. If you're the losing team, you don't want to do it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. No, I
and I imagine they're all drawing at each other. And like they said, this was throughout the game. They had fights and they had commotion and stuff like that. And but it's up to the coaches.
What was at stake here?
I have no idea. It's playoff. I don't know if this is playoffs or not, because the playoffs just started high school. But I'm also wondering, why is St. Louis playing Massillon? A St. Louis team playing Massillon. It's an awful long, 8-hour drive, 6-hour drive, whatever that is.
St. Louis to
Cleveland is 8 hours, I think.
Yeah, 8-10. Something like that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I work with somebody that's got kids in playing high school football, and there are some things that you wouldn't. Somehow they rank him. I don't know how it works, but when I hear where he's going, I'm just like, you're in high school. What the hell?
Yeah.
Your kids are in high school. What are you doing? Going to New York and
it's kind of like it's good that your kid's good at sports, but it's also, wow, what a sacrifice that is. I know parents every weekend, they're in, Southern Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan for hockey or whatever. It's like, okay, your kid's good. That's good. But man, whew. And this seems like one of those kind of things.
Right. Well,
travel ball or something.
Yeah. Well, it's not even travel ball. I don't know how they decide which team goes where, but
yeah. Or maybe it's a one-time thing, or they do like an out-of-state thing every once in a while. I don't know. It's a good question. That's my first thing. That's why I was got confused on reading the articles. Like St. Louis, wait, that can't be from St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis, Missouri. All right. Speaking of high school sports, we can move on to the next one, which may be an interesting topic. Is they have a Ohio judge has put a temporary injunction or pause on the rule in Ohio sports that you're not allowed to get paid for your name, image, or likeness as a high school student. If you do, you can no longer be eligible as an amateur. In the court, there's a family that sued the state and the OHSAA, and the judge in the lawsuit said they're going to temporary restraining order that will last 45 days and until another hearing is scheduled. And basically, there's a trying to find the art. Oh yeah, so there's a family, a kid that is, I think, like the second ranked wide receiver in the country. And yes, he's the rated Brown, who plays at Huber Heights Wayne, is rated as the 12th best recruit in the country for the class of 2027, according to 24/7 Sports. The 4-star recruit is the second best receiver in the entire class and the top rated recruit in Ohio. and the family is saying they had deals, endorsement deals for his image, name, and likeness, for about $100,000. They were not able to capitalize on because they would have to. It would not be amateur. He would not be eligible to play in high school sports. Got anything opinion on that? What's your initial?
The capitalist in me says this is fine for high school students to get paid, but I don't really care, to tell you the truth.
Well, it's slightly different than what's going on in college, though.
College makes so much money from the football games. I think the kids, the students should be able to, get endorsement deals and stuff. High school, I don't know if that's the same thing in high school. I don't know enough about it.
In college, they're actually getting paid to play football, as far as I understand it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's...
I thought it was more of a thing of that they can get endorsements and stuff.
No, they're actually getting paid, and they can transfer at any time to any school if another school wants to pay them more.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
I don't...
Schools make so much money from them.
Yes. But this is not that. What they're arguing is if we get Nike, who thinks my kid is going to be the next star, and they want to give me $50,000 to put his name on a commercial, I should be able to do that.
Yeah, the capitalism says yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine that went to a Ohio school that he got in a class action lawsuit. He got a few grand because they put his name. He was a football player. They put his name in his picture all over the city where the school is at. It was Bowling Green, and he didn't get paid. Like, they're using his name and his face, and he should get paid for that. And he did.
Yes, for sure.
And that's what this is really like. This is kind of the same thing. It's not the school doing it, but if you should be able to sell your name and likeness if you want. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And most states in the country are this way. Like, you can profit from selling these endorsements while in high school and still be an amateur.
Right.
I think
what is it? 40 out of the 50 states allow this or something?
Yep. So it's basically, and that's kind of what the judge says. This kind of puts us in line with the rest of the states, the majority of the country. And they're just giving the Ohio Sports Association time to figure it. And I'm not sure. They voted this down many times, like overwhelmingly.
Didn't LeBron James went through something like this? Didn't he get in trouble? Didn't he get like a car or something?
It was rumored that his mom was getting stuff.
Yeah, well, there was that, but I think he even, there was some kind of, if I can remember right, I mean, it's a long time ago.
Right.
I think there was an investigation about him getting, I think he got like a big old Hummer or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. But as early as 2022, they voted against this, overwhelmingly, 538 to 254. So I'm not sure why they're so against it.
I do think the what's that called? Like, what's a fund called if kids, let's say they trust? Yeah, they should go into a trust. Not right to the kid or to the parent. Actually,
it should go to the parent. And
no, a trust. I don't even think it should go to the parent. That's the kid's money. But he shouldn't be able to get it until after college, let's say, age.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think
I don't want my 18-year-old to have $100,000.
No.
18? Oh, 8? No, I don't. Not if they're going to school still.
No. But I don't. I think the parents should decide what they want to do with it.
No.
Why not?
I don't think most of those parents are responsible enough.
Well, that's.
I think it should go into a trust.
That I understand that point, but it's irrelevant to what the law. I mean, I don't think we should change or.
No, because the parent can spend all that money before the child has a chance.
Yeah,
well, no.
But it's the parent. No, it's not. It's the parent's responsibility.
No.
How? Not 18.
Whose likeness are they using? Who's endorsing? And the child gets that money, and he should get that money in a trust after a certain age.
I think
I don't care if it's 22 or after college or whatever.
I guess I'd be on the side of parents.
No,
parental rights.
Not at all.
I'm responsible for the kid.
If I go to work, my parents don't get the money.
Right. But who controls the kid? The parents. So at 15, can you get a bank account at 15?
Yeah, no. I think you can.
I think you need parents. You need a parent signature to get a.
No, I got one when I was 16.
Oh, that was a long time ago, Tom.
It's still, you go and you can start working when you're 15. I'm pretty sure you can go get a bank account.
Yeah, we tried, and I have to wait, and they need my permission to open a bank account. I know. I get what you're saying. You're right. A lot of parents would blow it, but oh well. That's not my problem. My problem is who's in charge of the child. That's who should be in charge of the money.
Nope. Disagree.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, but I mean, if it's my kid, it's my decision. That's the way I look at it. It's not the kid's decision.
If it's my kid making that money, it's his money, and he gets it. Like I personally, I think if there's a trust that he gets it at 22 or 24, that's fine with me. Even 20.
Yeah. Again,
21. I mean,
whatever the parent says.
That's just like actors that are they got paid millions of dollars and their parents squandered it.
Sure.
No, that's not right.
I get it. It isn't. But I don't think we should dictate our laws around what people could or couldn't do, or how, that's kind of, I guess, how I'm looking. And when it comes to kids, I'm biased.
Controlling.
I'm biased. Well, yeah, I'm biased. I don't want the state.
You're wrong.
I don't want the state dictating
You're wrong.
anything.
I'm right. Leave it at that.
Okay. All right. On to our final segment of the day.
We bring good things to life.
Well, good things segment. A little tough this week, but I think I found a couple that will work. A couple stories that we're trying to, maneuver things. We got this new spotlight coming in, Ohio Spotlight, so it's kind of similar, kind of overlaps a little bit in the good things. So we're trying to see how we can make these segments a little bit better. And this one, these are kind of going to be stories that are just good stories or lighthearted stories. And this one, let's lock the clock, Tom. Lock the clock. Gotta be careful how I say that. This is a story. Daylight saving time ends in a few days. It's this weekend, right? It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Well, tomorrow. Yesterday for the people listening on Monday.
If you're late for work, it's because yesterday was fall back. Wait, back. So would that make you early? I don't know.
That'd make you early.
Yeah, it would make you early. Yeah, I don't know. It's time to stop the changing of the clocks. That's the point of this article. For the love of God and everything that's holy, stop with this changing. Even the dog hates it.
I agree, except I want it on standard time.
Yeah, we're falling back to standard time.
Yeah, that's where I want it.
So we should keep it right here.
But most states want it on daylight saving time.
Right, and I think we talked a couple weeks ago. That's why it's going to stay there because it's kind of split pretty evenly. So
it's a 50-50 issue. Nobody wants to be daring enough to end it.
So a couple little points here. Over the last 7 years, 18 states have passed legislation or resolutions to support of year-round daylight saving time, like you're saying. So this is what 18 states, they want year-round daylight saving time.
Right.
So basically staying where we're at right now, or as you're listening to us last week. And according to the National Conference of State Legislatures in 2025, at least 31 states considered or are still considering legislation related to daylight saving time. It seems like it's an issue that needs to be brought up because there's a lot of states that are looking at it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean nothing though. Somebody in their legislature brings it up for vote, and it goes nowhere.
Right. I think because it's so split. I think this is the problem: is half the people want to do it at daylight saving time, and half the people want to do it on standard time, and there's really no.
Why would you want to keep it where it's not supposed to be?
Yeah, exactly. Why? Let's just go back to the way it was. Why we got to
leave it on standard time? because Tom sleeps better on standard time.
That's
so the whole country needs to be on my time, bitches.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I think if it's because of that, I'm all for it. Then it's because if it makes you sleep better, Tom, I'm all for it.
Okay, then I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on the last subject we talked about.
Well, that's pretty good. I like it. Okay, I'll go with it. Yeah, look, compromise. Look at that. We can all compromise. We can always compromise.
Standard time is the way.
Standard time is the way.
I don't need daylight at 9:30 in the summer.
So that's the one. Check that one out. See what you tell us what you think. What should we do? Should we do stay we're at daylight saving or stay on standard time? What do you think? Send us an email, crookedrivercast@gmail.com. Last one on our list is a little fun one that we're doing. So all this stuff came up during the Brown Stadium negotiation, I guess you would call it, with the state budget about the Unclaimed Funds Fund. And there's an article from Channel 3, WKYC, saying Ohio Department of Commerce Division of Unclaimed Funds is sparking some, I gotta learn how to read, I guess, is sparking some friendly rivalry this November with the friends from up north. And they're going to do a Find Forgotten Funds between us and Michigan in the month of November, between November 1st and November 30th. They're encouraging residents to get your unclaimed funds, and they have a friendly little bet between us and that state from up north, Michigan. And there's kind of a friendly little battle on who can give back the most unclaimed funds throughout the month of November, which is perfect because get some of those funds back. And I don't know, maybe with the new funds, you can buy a stamp for Christmas for your kid.
My wife got it came quick. She found out she had like $20, a little bit more than $20, and check came pretty darn quick.
You can almost buy a 12-pack of good beer with $20.
Well, you know what? 20, like I think I said before, like if I had, even $10, I think I would be like, oh yeah, send that to me. Mm-hmm. But like me, I have like 3 different checks that would be like under 50 cents each. I think I had a total of 76 cents for 3 different.
Can't even get a gumball anymore.
Well, it's not even that. It's like I'm sitting here going, well, it's going to cost the state more to send me that than it's worth. Yeah. So what's the point?
Yeah, but think about all the interest they made off you, Tom.
Okay.
4.5 cents over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So that little rivalry between us and Michigan, and I say OH. Yeah, it didn't work. Darn.
No.
All right. Well, that was show 33. That was show 33, everybody. It is the magic number, and we thank you for listening. And those of you who have gotten all the way to the end, wow. Thank you very much. We really do appreciate listening. We know it takes up everybody's time is valuable, let's put it that way. And we really appreciate you taking some of your time every week to listen to our show. Share it with your friends. Share it with your neighbors. Send us what you think in an email. Send us your stories. If you think we're missing something, check us out on X. Well, geez, I gotta get this thing down, Tom. That's what I wanted to do. Check us out on X. And if you'll figure that out soon enough, why I keep playing the Cookie Monster. And that's it. That is show 33. I thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Peace.